Hello and welcome to the channel's book club. In January 2014, in line with its fiscal policy measures designed to encourage self-sufficiency in local industry, the federal government announced amendments to the 2008 to 2012 Common External Tariff. Local industries in focus were the printing and publishing industries. The printing arm of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria made a strong case for increasing the duties on imported books on the ground that the necessary capacity for publishing these books in the country already exists and local production needs to be encouraged. For this reason, a tariff increase of over 60% was imposed on imported books. In practical terms, if this increase was passed on to consumers, a book you bought for about 1,000 naira suddenly cost over 1,600 naira. That's a lot of increase on a book's price. In a bid to manage the situation and allow for all parties to discuss and reach agreements, the federal government temporarily suspended the new tariffs for some months. Now, what is the view of the Nigerian publishers on this issue? What do Nigerian printers prefer to be done? How is the matter being resolved? Well, joining us today in an emotionally charged debate are two distinguished experts. Banji Aladesuyi is a vastly experienced publisher who represents the Nigerian Publishers Association as the association's executive secretary. Fashanu is a seasoned printer with over 3 decades experience in the graphic communication industry. He is a member of the Chartered Institute of Printing in Nigeria and an executive member of Nigeria Printers Association. Please join us after this break as both men share their thoughts and the positions of the sectors they represent. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the channel's book club.
My pleasure.
Glad to have you here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, now this tariff increase issue, let's start by understanding its genesis and why it came up in the first instance before we begin to delve into what's been going on to resolve it and how should the country move forward with regards to it. Let me start with you. Can you explain briefly how it started and the reason for it?
Well, from my own opinion, I think the government is trying to put things in the right perspective, and the Ministry of Trade and Industry must have put together so many indices to inform government for a decision to be taken on some importations, of which a book is part of it, in the attempt to protect the local industry.
Okay.
Printers are affected in that wise.
Okay, now, of course, that's the perspective of a printer. Okay, now I'm going to ask you, you will speak from the perspective of a publisher, of course. Do you share that opinion? Is that your view about what the government did?
No. Well, now, the issue basically is what we are talking about is about knowledge. Suddenly, government said they will start paying import duty on books coming into the country. And this has there is really no distinction. Books, printed books. Before there used to be different HS codes, but now the whole thing is just one stream HS code and the duties. And publishers said that cannot be easy. It's not protective of even the local industries. There are so many other things government could do, in our own opinion, to help the local industries. we believe that what happened was there was a serious misadvice. Publishing is different from printing, technically. And if you look at this, you can help the whole gamut, everything that surrounds books, not printers, not publishers.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're going to delve into that a lot. Now, let's paint the picture properly now. The government said that its intention was to protect local industries, and it had the printing sector and the publishing sector in mind, based on public statements of the government.
Yeah.
Now, you printers are saying that was a good idea, because naturally it means that publishers will then have to print their books from printers. And then you publishers are saying that wasn't the smartest of ideas, because overall it hurts everybody at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what's the position of both industries at the moment? Because I know there has been months of deliberations over this.
I would like to put something straight here.
Okay.
First, printing and publishing are not two different things. Printing is in the chain of book production, and it's part of the components that make book happen. And if a government is looking at protecting local industry and or manufacturing, as the case may be, what printers are asking for is a level playing ground. Let us be able to be competitive. And the only way to go is for you to provide all necessary amenities that will protect that industry. Policy inclusive. Printers cannot twist government to say, go and put levy on this. We can't do that. But printers will be happy of any good idea that will help industry growth. And the Manufacturer Association must have been consulted, as the case may be, to know what the right steps to take to protect book manufacturing in the country.
Okay. I mean, it's understandable why printers will take that position and why publishers will take that position. But I mean, let's look at the good of the country now. And that is not to say that your positions are not based on your desire to get the best for the country. But I mean, let's look at the situation now, because I think this situation presents a fantastic opportunity for the country, to make a lot of improvements generally.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that debates are going on. I mean, debates are the basis of any democracy. Now, does the printing industry, as it stands, have the capacity to produce the books required by students and readers and everybody across the country? Is that capacity there? Because that is a very important issue. If 62
right.
or so % tariff is being placed on book importation, then the local industry must have the capacity to be able to produce.
But let me first put something straight. It's relative to say, does the printers have the capacity? It depends on what we're talking about. I will go straight to an issue. The government is the greatest spender, and they are sponsoring the UBEC through World Bank project. They are the one anchoring it. That is the UBEC.
Universal basic education.
And if you look at the volume there, if proper planning is put in place, we can say with the present capacity, there are substantial, not total.
Not total.
So don't let us deceive ourselves on that.
Okay.
I think I like
Substantial
That makes sense.
capacity to accommodate. But you see, it takes all parties to plan.
So you are saying that at least the capacity that is available now, let's make sure
We
channel,
engage it.
Yeah, we engage it.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Let's look at it like this. I think I like to agree with Mr. Fashanu that, with Babs, that publishing is a chain. And the chain starts from the author. The author writes a book, gives it to a publisher, who does the mental work, who does the editorial work, does everything, graphics, all those things. And then also calls a printer, maybe XYZ printer, come, I have this job to do. I will give it to you. The printer does it, and then after printing, takes it back to the publisher. This is your work. I have done it. Then he calls the bookseller. So you know I've mentioned 4 different people. Yeah. So one, we felt it was wrong of government to believe that it can protect only one out of these 4 people. That is one aspect. Now the other thing is, when you talk of capacity, yes, we can grow the capacity. As of today, the capacity is not there. When he was talking of UBEC, we agree. Government gives her UBEC orders to how many publishers? 8 or 9 publishers in the whole of this country.
Just 8 or 9?
Yes, we know them. And we have been talking on this, we have been discussing on this because this things to go around more than what it is now. But what we're saying is, when you look at the number of books they're talking about in the UBEC order, which only is for its basic education, years 1 to 9. You understand? Yeah. In that stream alone, in the primary schools in this country, we have about 30 million children. If they use only 4 books, time multiplies by 30 million, you know how much it is. The capacity is not there.
That's where I'm coming.
The capacity of the printers to produce
is not there.
To meet that demand.
It's not there. That is one. Then 2, wait. That is one. Then 2, there are so many books. Engineering, medical, even mass comm books, that an XYZ bookseller will import only 5 copies, 10 copies, and this will be taxed. The student system will now need to buy this at a higher cost. Do you understand what we're saying? Now, you can't go to McGraw-Hill and tell them to give you a license to print 500 copies of books in Nigeria. They will look at you as this. It doesn't work. Okay. So what we're saying then is that there are things we could do to help the capacity. And this we have been talking of over the years.